Let's take a look at some examples of revenue forecasts in reality that have differed qualitatively, with some being more predictable and accurate and others being less predictable and less accurate. Let's take the Gautrain as an example. The Gautrain, which is a rapid rail link in South Africa connecting the cities of Johannesburg, Tshwane and OR Tambo Airport, is a good example of higher uncertainty when the project was conceptualized and commissioned. The Gautrain has a revenue model premised on patronage. That is simply how many people actually use the facility. The higher the numbers, the greater the frequency, the more revenue the project generates. But in addition to that, there's an overlay. The Gautrain also has a guaranteed subsidy from the Gauteng provincial government, what's called a patronage agreement, and this tops up the revenue. Now, if one looks at the financial model originally done for the Gautrain, the project has surpassed the patronage and the revenue targets that were set. By 2015, it had already exceeded the patronage levels that the financial model forecast would only be achieved in 2020. This is a great case study and a very successful project that's exceeded even the most optimistic revenue forecasts. Let's contrast the Gautrain with the highways or the revenue or the freeways in Gauteng that have been upgraded and maintained by the state-owned company called SANRAL. Now, if you look at the traffic or the number of vehicles on these highways, the volumes have risen considerably since they were commissioned in 2010. These traffic numbers are actually in line with the financial model that was crafted. But SANRAL has had a really challenging time regarding revenue because they have faced a compliance issue. Only 9% of the users of the highways pay their tolls. The e-tag system of billing and collecting revenue is simply not working. And despite appeals, negotiations, threats, users refuse to pay. As a result, the revenue actually collected and the actual cash flow have fallen well short of the model forecasts. Another example of very predictable revenue streams are some of the solar projects in South Africa's renewable energy program. The revenue has a high degree of certainty as take-or-pay arrangements are signed with Eskom. That's the national electricity provider. And the tariff is agreed upon upfront at the inception of the project, and the government has guaranteed that payment will be made by Eskom. And finally, there's some projects facing challenges in the mining sector due to revenue forecasts not being met. These mining projects are underwater due to depressed commodity prices, and failing drastic interventions, these operations may be shut down or mothballed. So you have to look at the project and you have to look at the variability of its revenue forecast, and this will have a huge influence on the robustness, the resilience of the financial model.